Zavin carefully extended the scabbard to the bottom of the coffin, and then slowly lifted it upward. The moment the clothes left the liquid, a stream of blood rushed down the surroundings, quickly blending with the surrounding colors. When his gaze shifted to the poetry silkworm in the hand of the copyist, he finally came to his senses. Zhao Wenbing said to the male corpse in the coffin, "I really didn't expect it. You're smart. Try your best. Count the heavens." He did not hesitate to set up such a large array for eternal life. In summary, let a bug take advantage of this day. I'm afraid that's what it's called. People are not as good as heaven. Ugly. This man's body. I'm afraid it's all there now. In the crippled belly. The copycat heard his hand shake. The shotgun almost threw him away. Although he knew that this worm loved meat, but the dead bodies of thousands of years were also eaten by him. It's disgusting. That's it. If it weren't for Zavin's soldiers, now it's a knife that kills him. The corpse king ran here to give birth. Just to make his son eat such a disgusting thing. The copycat pointed at the worm and said viciously, "Your mother is really good enough for you. I found a 1,000-year-old piece of meat for you to eat. I'm not afraid that you will have diarrhea after eating badly." Zhao Wenbin looked at the virtue of the copy. Come up and say, "Okay, don't be poor." I guess so. The water here was supposed to be colorless. I was bitten in the stomach by that bug, and it was stained red by blood. I was at the bottom of the pass just now. It seems that I have also touched something. It is estimated that it is a burial object. Now fish them up and take a look. The copycat has a mountaineering claw on his body. It was used as a salvage tool on the spot. The two of them fumbled inside for a while. Finally got something. It is a bronze disc the size of a wash basin. Much like the shrunken plate of the giant disc with chains hanging from the lower priest's entrance. Outside is a large circle. Inside is a small circle of solid. There are 5 bronze rods connected between the 2 circles. Divide a circle evenly into 5 parts. It's a lot like the 5-spoke car wheels that we use today. But things are made very thin. There are small dots engraved on it. The distance is not short. Each point is connected by a long and short line. Eventually, it connects to the small circle in the middle. Zhao Wenbing carefully studied the dots and lines. Arrange them one by one in a plane in your mind. Gradually, a pattern emerged. This is a constellation chart. Slowly, Zhao Wenbing spoke. Plagiarism. I'm going to find the 3rd level. I found it. The copycat asked, puzzled. The 3rd realm? Zhao Wenbing said, pointing to the bronze disc on the ground. If my guess is correct, this thing should be called the sun gear. You look at those little dots on the board. It should be the planet that revolves around the sun. It is followed by the position of the sun at a distance from the sun, strictly marked. And they are connected to each other by lines. If the dots could be moved, we'll find out. All of these points, in the end, it's all around the middle. This little circle is in motion. And this little circle is the sun. The ancients believed that the sun was the representative of the sky. So they made this thing and pressed it in a coffin. Let this man be dead in the 3 realms. That is, it has truly jumped out of the 3 realms. Not in the 5 elements. Chaozi looked at the quaint bronze disc on the ground. From his professional point of view, whether it's the material or the shape, especially in ancient times, when there were no precision instruments, it is not difficult to divide a circle evenly into 4 or 8 parts. But it's very difficult to divide it into 5 parts. According to Zhao Wenbin's analysis, in the middle of this is a sun. Those 5 rods represent the 5 rays of the sun. Why do they make one? It seems simple, but in fact, it is extremely complicated and not difficult. The only one that can be explained at the moment. I'm afraid that there is only Zhao Wenbin's heavenly realm. Take him as the sun. What do you mean? This man placed 4 coffins on top of the village. The human world, 4 underground mouths, boundary, the middle one, heaven. There are 3 realms to declare oneself dead. In fact, he did not really die. It's just that the power of his 3 souls and 7 spirits is scattered in Shirko Jingdong Pass. Then wait until the day of the true resurrection. Zhao Wenbin said. Not bad. That's it. The corpse existed here as a fake dead man for thousands of years. It contains the power of the 3 worlds of heaven, earth, and man, as well as gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. With the power of the 27 nakshatras and a special potion, in order to ensure that the flesh is not satisfied. And through these greater rays, let your 3 souls and 7 spirits be separated. Take this soul as an eye. If anyone can combine these 3 souls and 7 spirits, the collection is complete. Take refuge in the original God. I'm afraid this man will be able to come back to life again. This orbital technique, it's unprecedented. There is no one to come. Today is also an eye-opener for me. Fortunately, the Lion King coveted the power contained in this corpse. Holding the water level down, sent their own offspring in. A piece shared the delicious meal. It wasn't the time we saw him go down. Is the stomach a little bulging? I guess he ate a lot too. He was afraid that his son would not have enough to eat. I'm going to leave both of us here for the burial. If there is no soul chest, I'm afraid there are 5 of us today. They all have to stay in this deep well that no one knows. The bronze sun wheel was put away by Zonbing. Put it in the bag. As long as he touches this thing, this game can be regarded as completely broken. He doesn't need to clean up. The rest of the souls will naturally be wiped out. He said, glancing at the dismal priest. Plagiarism. Let's go. The plagiarist put down the corpse. Let it sink back to the bottom. It has been destroyed by corpses. It won't be long. The corpse will turn into a pool of blood. The 2 of them carried the juvenile corpse. Follow the rope back to the ground. The burning bear below waited so long. I'm going crazy. I saw the pump holding the thing in his hand. I thought to myself, are you crazy? Climb up together just to catch a bug. However, he saw that both of them had blood stains and signs of fighting. A litany of questions were thrown. Rumbingo. Isn't the one in the copy's hand a corpse? And what did you find on it? What was so fragrant just now? And what's going on with the fighting momentum? I just saw a corpse outside trying to get in, and a shot was fired. The plagiarist shook the corpse in his hand and smiled. Hey, blind. There are your ancestors on it. It's a pity that this corpse was used as a snack. I'm not here to avenge you. Arrest him and dispose of him. Take it. As he spoke, he handed the corpse in his hand to Zhuoxiong. Zavin said with a glare. Stop messing around. Look at what you have in your hands. It's up to him to get out for a while. The Zhuoxiong brothers. Now it's important to find your way around. Otherwise, we'll all starve to death here. As he spoke, he took the shotgun from the copyist's hand. The stone remnant below began to writhe restlessly again. If it weren't for getting out, Zhao Wenbin was not happy to bring such a disgusting and vicious thing. Zonbin glanced at Lung Aran and Lao Wang. The complexion has also improved significantly. It is said that there was a resurrection box just now. It's time for both of them to wake up too. It's just that I feel like I'm asleep all the time. This place should not be stayed for long. They packed up their gear. Zaven walked in front with the worms. They were followed by 2 men carrying the sick and wounded on their backs. The original ancient wellhead can't get out. At the moment, we can only take 1 step forward. Follow the direction of the airflow of this dark river. There may be other exits ahead. Let's go up the river first. This trip out, I thought it was a simple investigation. Equipment and food preparation were not very adequate. Right now, they only have 2 days' worth of food left. There are also not many batteries needed for spotlights. Now we can only use as sparingly as possible. A light is turned on by the person leading the way, but in this cold, damp, and dark underground cavern, this light can only be said to be barely visible. No one was in the mood to continue laughing. I just hoped to be able to get out early. There was nothing but footsteps. There were countless pairs of eyes staring at them in the darkness. It's just that at the moment they don't know it. I walked for about an hour. The cave began to get narrower and narrower. The slippery ground is not so easy to walk. Another boulder appeared in front of him, blocked the way. Look up. It seems that in addition to climbing up, there is no other way at this moment. You still have to take a ladder. Wenbin took the lead and climbed up. Just as he was about to lower the rope, a casual twist of the head, a corpse appeared in his sight. The closest to him, it is a copy still carrying the colt. It's only 5 meters away. He immediately shouted, "Plagiarism. Be careful. There's a corpse behind you." Hear the warning. The first reaction of the copy. It is to pull out the dagger. Turn on your own spotlights. One turned around. Boy. There's only one corpse there. In a pile of rubble. White dots one by one. It's all coming out now. It's white. No matter how you look at it, there are hundreds of them. That's it. Really made Wenbin right. This bunch of bugs. In the end, I still didn't plan to let them go. Zhuoxiong raised his shotgun and was about to shoot. Even if they are now, only this one bullet remained. Nor did he have the slightest cowardice. This is the military. Courage. Don't shoot, Wenbin shouted. Then he lifted the yellow lion silkworm in his hand into the air. Shook vigorously. Pull out the 7-star sword and put it on the side of the lion silkworm. Made a cutting motion. A gust of wind flew, mixed with crackling stone ropes. A huge golden lion silkworm leaped out. It was the leading lion remnant king just now. His presence caused the other lions to begin to retreat one after another. Keep a certain distance from him. Don't dare to make any more moves. The lion remnant king held his head high, stared at his descendants in Zhang Wenbin's hands. A pair of huge tongs danced non-stop. Suddenly, he tilted his head to the left. The body arched, and the head was raised back. A cloud of black silk thread shot out of his mouth. Smack. Stuck to the stone wall. Everyone looked. Originally, there was a big patch of moss. Now it's black right away. It quickly withered. Wenbin gasped. From the distance, he could well have taken his current position, attacked the 5 of them. At this rate, if it was against someone just now, I'm afraid they're all with that moss by now. It's the same end. Looks like this hand is this bug. In warning them, Wenbin did not show weakness either. Holding the 7-star sword, gently glide over the small stone silkworm. Leave a gap. The black juice flowed out quickly. It hurt so much that the stone silkworm was on the rope, tumbling and writhing. The big bug saw that his child was scratched. A cry from a spider. Huge tail sweep. Scattering swords with stones on the side. It's like venting the anger in my heart. Wenbin saw the wind turn. Pointing straight ahead, the Stone Remnant King, unafraid of his provocations. Look at the guy in front of him who is holding his own child. The Stone Remnant King slowly lowered his head and raised his head. Lying on the ground is not dynamic. Zhao Wenbin stared at the situation in front of him, said while leaving the mountaineering station. "You two hurry up. This guy should have followed us all the way. As long as you have this small one in hand, the old one shouldn't dare to act rashly." The two of them didn't care about the future, climbed up the rope one after the other. Turn around and look. A large body of water in front. It should be this boulder stuck here. A small dam was formed. There were quite a few trees that had been washed down. It's piled up here. Zhuoxiong picked up a stone and threw it forward. There was a thud. Said, "It seems that the water here is not shallow. We're out of the way. What to do? There is no road ahead, and there are pursuers behind it." This also carried 2 unconscious wounded and sick people. Zhao Wenbin thought to himself, "Do you really want to put myself here?" The ugly man looked at the endless waterway and was also worried. Such cold water. You didn't really swim me through. When his eyes noticed the pile-up. Layer upon layer of wood. A flash of inspiration. There are blind people. We can make a raft. You see so much wood to pick a few sticks. Pitch a raft. Let's paddle over and try it. Just do it. Chaoko and Zhuoxiong fished some straight ones in the water. Wood of the same thickness to the dam. This military dagger has a benefit. That's multi-purpose. Can slash and stab. The back can also be sawed. The two are now carpenters. Cut off the branches. One by one, it is good. The piles of wood were wrapped around each other with a mountaineering lock. The front and back sides are reinforced with horizontal wood. 2 hours later, a simple raft was really finished. In the meantime, the Xiamen soldier kept holding the small stone silkworm, continued to hold on to the army of stone silkworms behind. Neither side moved. His arms were all up. But what about the sword on the little stone silkworm? I didn't dare to put it down for a moment. I'm afraid of being attacked. Brother Doorman, it's done. Let's withdraw. The two of them took off their coats first. Plop on the wet raft. Then the unconscious 2 people were lifted up first. The Xiamen soldier sat in the middle, holding a small stone remnant. Copycat and Zhuoxiong. One was holding a long wooden stick. Sit on the paddle at the head and tail. Kick hard. The wooden boat began to float slowly forward. The copycat said with a laugh, "It's a heaven-shattering road. We have the wisdom of a great working people, combined with genius-like creativity. Can this little thing stump us?" Zhao Wenbin stared at the boulder. Sure enough, moments after they left, a huge yellow figure jumped up. He stopped when he rushed to the surface. Look at the raft that is getting farther and farther away. The Lion Remnant King was so anxious that he shook his tail, smashed into the wood next to it. The wood was shattered. It is enough to see the great strength of it. All 3 looked back at the scene. They are all sighing at the power of this bug. If it is swept on people, kill in no time. Chaozi had to admire Zan once again. If he hadn't stopped him, I'm afraid this little one has been slaughtered by himself a long time ago. So what about now? I should have become a snack in that big belly. Zhuoxiong looked at the corpse king. One was pounding the wood and rocks. Said, "Looks like the corpses don't know how to water. Otherwise, I would have chased after it a long time ago." Zhao Wenbin held up the small corpse in his hand. Shaking his head, he said, "Wrong. This underground cave is soaked in water all year round. There is no such thing as an arid place. It is possible to let them hide." "I think so. He may not be afraid of water. Fear. I'm not done yet. There was a sudden bang on the surface of the water. A huge tongue sticks out. It's so fast that it's hard to react. Wait until you come back to your senses and take a look. The small corpse in Zhang Wenbin's hand is gone. All that was left was a slippery piece of twine, also dropped on the shotgun. The crowd hadn't reacted yet. I saw the golden corpse king on the shore. There was a squeak and a roar. Neck up. He stooped down and jumped into the water. Suddenly, the surface of the water was split into two splashes. The lion remnant king chased after the raft like a sword. A few people on the boat took a look, immediately shocked. There are no more hostages on hand. What should I do now? Seeing that the lion remnant king was about to come to him, Zhuo Xiong hurriedly raised his shotgun. There was a bang. Resounded throughout the cavern. The shot was aimed at his head. With the marksmanship of the bamboo bear, this distance will not be missed. Sure enough, the lion remnant king's body was low, submerged in the water, gone. Under the illumination of spotlights, the water was originally a little muddy. A black cloud of blood began to disperse. It has an extremely unpleasant fishy odor. The stinky man said with a wooden stick that served as a bridge for the boat. Hit. Zhuo Xiong looked at the shotgun in his hand, and the blood stains floating on the water. Although I have palpitations, but for this deer egg, which specializes in shooting large animals, he's still very confident. Such a close distance. 800 pounds of bison can be knocked down, not to mention a bug. Looking at the calm and smelly water, but he can't easily relax the heart of the 10 guards. Zhang Wenbin pinched the weapon in his hand, nervously observing every move in the water. The time of a cigarette passed, except for the occasional lapping of the water on the raft. The whole cave was peaceful. I remembered that huge tongue just now. There must be something hidden under this water. Zhang Wenbin just wants to get out of here quickly at the moment. Urged. Hurry on. Don't make too much noise.